So welcome back to another Kenan Builds video. So I'm on my way to the unit now. We're going to be getting the MX5 ready for the 2024 show season. So as the title and thumbnail suggests, we're going to be looking at my boot build. I don't really open it up for shows, but it would be nice if I can, to leave it open and make the boot as good as possible. So I'm going to get to the unit, get the car tucked away, because once it's on the floor and the tank and all that's removed, I won't be able to move it. So I'm going to tuck it away and we'll crack on getting this boot done. So the car's tucked away all nicely now, so I can now begin to start on the boot build. It's an absolute mess in there at the minute. It's been neglected over the last couple of months, things just thrown in. My compressor did conk out or die not too long ago, so I have got a new compressor to go in. That's why that's just temporary popped in as just a spare we have here. There's a load of panels which I've got which block off all the rubbish, so they've got to go back in, which I've taken out in the past and just never put back in. So what I'm going to do is just get absolutely everything out, get this back bare, and then show you what we're dealing with. So removing all the panels is fairly easy. They pretty much just fit snugly into place. First thing to remove is the management, remembering to make sure that all of the lines going into the manifold have labels on, 1 to 6, or however you want to label them, as you can see there. So the boot is empty as I could kind of make it, or as far as I want to go. These are all the pieces that came out, plus all the rubbish. This is the old compressor I just popped in. I have got a new one. We've got the Valle, I think it's 444C in black to go in, just because it looks a bit cleaner than the silver, as most of it will be black. And then these are all the pieces. So that sits on the bottom where the management sits on, as you could see. But then these 3 pieces, the ones that weren't in, these cover all the areas which look a bit grubby. So this is the battery box cover. That covers the left hand side where the jack is, and then this will sit on the left hand side to cover all the rubbish. So all of these pieces are going to be retrimmed in. I get a black stretch carpet, the 4-way stretch carpet. So that's one of the jobs I got to do before putting it all back in. And I'm also going to rewrap the tank. I'm undecided if I'm going to go gloss black or if I'm going to match the car and go all beige. So next up, I'm going to remove the tank and the compressor, and then maybe strip all the material off these, ready to recover them. You may notice that there are 2 layers already on these panels, carpet underneath and Alcantara on top. The reason for that was because the Alcantara is quite thin and the boards are that rough that the carpet gave a good base for the Alcantara, as they were carpeted previously. So that's all the old material removed off the old panels. Usually they're not the nicest panels, but when you cover them you're not going to see any of it. So I'm going to be using this black stretch carpet. There is a way that you have to lay this, so if you ever use it, make sure you have the furrier side obviously facing away from the panel. I'm going to show you how to use this on one of the smaller pieces, but I'm not going to record doing a lot of them because it's quite tedious and boring. So I'll crack on now, show you how to do it on that, and then hopefully they look a lot better when we're done. So before we start carpeting, I like to get pieces of scrap cardboard to put underneath, so that you can change it every piece, because when you come to spraying glue on these pieces, the underside will get dirty, and then when you come to lay a new piece of carpet on the table or whatever, then the chances are you're going to get covered in glue. So if you can have something that you can keep changing on the table, just make sure your work is as clean as possible. It's ideal to just trim down as much of the excess as possible. So what you have to do now is use, this one's called Trim Fix Adhesive, but it's just a spray glue. It's really easy to use. It kind of goes on like a web sort of shape. Just as well, make sure you try and clean the nozzle after you use it because it tends to dry up on the end. Double check that you are gluing onto the right side, and then coat your piece in glue. Coat the back of the piece you want coating as well. And then simply lay your piece down. Try and lay it as tidy as possible first time, but you can lift and you can relay on glue if you need to. Try and make sure there's no creases. You can pull the carpet if you have a bit of a crease or a bubble. That's why see that one there, it's kind of just give it a bit of a pull, press it down, and it disappears. So what you have to do next is just fold the ends over. What I like to do on the corners is cut a kind of a V shape out, just so that you don't have a load of excess, and that way you can lie both sides down and you're left with a nice good corner and good finish. So as you can see, all the excess, so when you come to redoing your piece, if you lay a carpet on top of that and it's not dried, that's all going to stick to your carpet. What's good as well is that you tend to leave it for a little and it gets tacky. If you try and lay it straight away, the glue is really wet, so it won't stick down very well. Make sure you're pulling it nice and tight so you get a good edge on the corners, and then simply press it all down. And that's it, that's your piece. So what I like to do as well is, I know I've got 2 holes there, I think I need one of them. Get a screwdriver, really heat up the end, and then when it's so hot, you can kind of just feel for the hole, make sure you're in the right spot, and then press it through slowly, and it'll kind of melt the carpet. That way as well, then you're left with a nice clean edge because it's melted the edge of the hole. So I'll just get the rest of the panels done, but that's it. So what I think I'm going to do next is rewrap this. It is, at the minute, it's satin black. What I might do is I might keep the ends on the feet satin black and just rewrap the main body, and then I'll end up redoing a sticker of wherever I want. Might put a Kenan build sticker on there yet. So I think that's the plan, is to rewrap this in beige just to match, and it'll stand out a little bit more. Finished removing all the vinyl. I did have to give it a bit of a sanding to get rid of the lack appeal that had happened, just to get rid of any rough edges. It's not going to be perfect. I don't leave my boot open for shows anyway, so if there are some blemishes, there are some bits in it, which doesn't matter for me. It just makes it look a little bit nicer than the satin black. I'm probably breaking every wrapping rule by wrapping on this table and stuff, but like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to look 10 times better than it did, I think. And it's only for me anyway, because like I said, I don't leave my boot open for shows. So I'm just going to carry on and wrap it now. So let's make this look a bit better. So this is the tank all finished and wrapped now. It's as good as it could be. There's a lot of blemishes in it, but I would have to pretty much sand it back to metal to get the finish that you would kind of need. But for the sake of what I need it for, just to look a bit better, and also it's hidden away, so shouldn't really see any of these because there's not enough shadows to show any of the blemishes. What I'm going to do now is unbox the new compressor and get this and the compressor bolted onto the main piece that goes into the floor. So you can see on the table there, this is the old compressor that failed. Looks really rusty, looks really old, so glad we are changing it. What I'm also doing is changing the orientation of the mounts on the compressor so that it fits the same as the previous one. So that's the main floor piece done now. Tank is looking really good. Compressor looks even better. You might have seen in one of the time lapses. The old one just looks really rusty and worn down. So I'm going to get this put in. If there's anything I've missed while doing so, I'll either show you. If not, I'll just crack on and put what I can in. But I don't think there's anything in the way. So I think I can pretty much put all of the panels back into the boot now. So it looks like the camera wasn't quite recording while I was fitting all the panels into the boot, but I have got it done and it does look pretty good, and hopefully you like it. So hopefully you like the new boot build. It's basically the same as it was, but it's a lot cleaner now and it's not as neglected as it was. The only thing kind of laying it down is the water trap. So that kind of sitting in behind the fill filler neck. There's not really a lot I can do about that. I mean, I might revisit it and try and put it more into the corner. But I need some more longer line for that. You may have noticed as well that my filler neck is in the boot. So I did that when I wrapped the car back last summer. So I welded and fillered the filler cap shut, put it into the boot. I haven't really had any problems or anything, so it's working well, but it makes the car look a lot cleaner. Same with the antenna on the other side, that's gone as well. But because I got Apple CarPlay, I don't really need the radio anyway. That's it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. The boot is looking much better. Hopefully I can leave it open at some shows now, whereas before I would never have had a chance because there's an absolute mess in there. So I was going to make this one big video, but we are going to split it into two. And in the next video, we are going to be looking at the roof box, which we did mention briefly in the last video. And then I'm also going to be putting a fresh splitter, which needs to be wrapped, and might service it or any of that. And I might try and get a set of bucket seats if I can between now and then. That will also be in this video. If not, it'll be in a later one. If you enjoyed it, make sure you drop any comments down below. And we'd appreciate it if you were new here to maybe drop a subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.